Dear God, we're drawing at home to Burnley. We are drawing at home to Scott Parker's Burnley. We're drawing at home to a team who are undoubtedly being relegated. We are drawing at home to a team who are undoubtedly one of the worst Premier League teams of all time. That is who we are at the moment. That is what Chelsea Football Club are all about. Off the back of going into a 2-goal advantage against Leeds United and not winning the game, we go into a 1-goal advantage after 4 minutes against Burnley. Now we're dancing on the ceiling there, aren't we? We go 1-0 up. Beautiful pass from Moises Caicedo. Excellent square ball into the back of the net. João Pedro scores again. Lovely job, Lee. That is game over. That should be it. The game should be won. Burnley aren't a resilient team. Burnley aren't looking at a game at Stamford Bridge as an opportunity for them to get 3 points. The only way that they get 3 points in this game is if Chelsea are complacent or useless. The only way that they get a point out of the game is if Chelsea are useless or complacent. And Chelsea were both. So congratulations, Chelsea. We did really well there. Absolutely brilliant. When you go 1-0 up against a team like Burnley, you know what you do? You go 2-0 up. You know what you like? And I'm extending a courtesy and a criticism to my own team that I have done to, say, Arsenal. When I've been speaking about Arsenal, they went to Brentford. Why didn't they go 2-0 up? Why didn't we go 2-0 up? Put the game to bed. And as a result, we now know that Chelsea will not qualify for the Champions League. You know that. You know that we will not finish in the top 5. Like, that's a guarantee. We were on such an easy run. We had such an easy run of fixtures. For Liam Rosenior, you've got to give him a chance. You've got to give Liam Rosenior a chance. We were on such an easy run for his first few fixtures. And he won 4 in a row. Everyone's like, oh my God, what an astute appointment. My God, Blueco are amazing. We've beaten the might of Paphos. We've actually beaten the mighty Paphos. And obviously, Liam Rosenior is the architect of that wonderful victory. After Burnley, our fixtures turn. And we haven't been good in the easy fixtures. Now we're going to play both Manchester clubs that gets really serious. The fixtures now get really serious. Arsenal are up next. And off the back of basically being abject against Leeds, you know, we've played all the teams in relegation zone. And they're all scoring goals for fun. Like West Ham United were 2-0 up against us. Fine, we got out of jail. But West Ham, Burnley and Leeds United, we've played them all. 2 of them have taken a point off us. 1 of them very nearly did. Like, I just can't understand it. It's just so naive. It's so basic. And, I mean, it's just so obvious. Like, it's just so obvious that this is going to happen. Do you know why? You know when I say, oh, we're such a naive team. Do you know why we're a naive team? We're a naive team because we have a naive manager. We're a naive team because we have naive players. We're a naive team because we have bought players who are naive. And when I say naive, it sounds like criticism. It's not. It's not a criticism. It's just an acknowledgement. They're naive because they're young. When you're young, you are learning. When you're young, you are developing. You are on an upward trajectory. You will make mistakes. Liam Rosenior, and I don't mean this as a criticism to him, but he's going to make mistakes. It's his first foray into Premier League management. It's ludicrous that happens at Chelsea. Ludicrous. But he's naturally going to make mistakes, and you can't even hold him accountable to those mistakes because he's on a learning curve. He isn't the real deal. He isn't the finished product. We've employed a man who is at the very beginning of his journey. He should be cutting his teeth at the Chelsea under-21s, at best. Instead of that, he's in charge of the first team. A first team who are in the Champions League. A first team who this season had an opportunity to do something. And what have we done? Effectively, we have pressed the self-destruct button. I mean, the lack of personality that we play with, it's just so frustrating. Like, I've seen worse teams than this one, but we had an identity. We had a connection with the fans. Stamford Bridge would be rocking, even when it was Jakob Jelberg and Erland Johnson at the back. Even when it was Terry Phelan at fullback with Steve Clark over the other side. The bridge would be rocking and we had a connection. This just feels like, I had it on today. I was listening to the game today and it was so clear that there was no atmosphere in the stadium. You could hear a pin drop. The only noise seemed to be emanating from the Burnley away support. It felt so quiet. And this is all because of the ownership. This is all because of what's going on. The disparity between the fans and the ownership. The disparity between the manager and the fans. The disparity between the players and the ownership and the manager. And it's just all so broken at the club. And in a situation like this, these things happen. You're playing a resilient team. You're playing a dogged team. And do you know what happens in those situations? You need somebody on your team to take the game by the scruff of the neck and drag you to a victory. Who's going to do that for us? Who's the Didier Drogba? Like, do you remember when we played Hull City, first day of the season? We didn't play well. We didn't come alive. the game was petering out to a 1-1 draw. Suddenly Didier Drogba scores in the last minute. Remember, we're playing West Ham United, first home game of the season. The score's 1-1, the game's petering out. Suddenly Diego Costa scores in the last minute, drags us to a victory. Who's going to do that in this team? Like taking Cole Palmer off. Palmer was furious. You can just see that Palmer is so sick of what's going on at Chelsea. You can just see that Palmer is done with what's going on at Chelsea. And who can blame him? Who can blame him? He didn't sign for Chelsea to be managed by somebody like Liam Rosenior. That isn't the ambitious move. If you have one of the most exciting young prospects in world football, you have to match their ambition. And we're just not doing that. And this home form, like we've dropped more points at home from winning positions in the Premier League than any other side. Any other side. You think off the top of your head, how many times have we gone ahead at home and not won the game? Like obviously, under Rosenior, it seems to happen every home game. It happened to against Leeds. Happened against Leeds and Burnley under Rosenior. It's only been there 5 minutes. And obviously you can remember it happening to Brighton. You can remember it happening when we played Sunderland. It's just a quality in this team is so obviously lacking. And I just don't know where we're going to go from here. It feels to me now so clear that we're not going to make it into the Champions League. And that is what this season is all about. That is what the minimum is all about. We have opened the door to a resurgent Manchester United. Manchester United now, we're going to be looking at the goings on at Stamford Bridge. They're going to be licking their lips. Even Liverpool, when you think about the crisis that they've been in, they can go on level points. Just as they seem to be getting their act together, just as they seem to be finding a little bit of form, a little bit of rhythm, we demonstrate this form. And how much of this is directly traceable to Liam Rosenior? I would say a lot. I mean, his reorganisation off the back of Fofana. I mean, Fofana, what an idiot. Why is he going in on Ward-Prowse off the back of a booking like that? It's so basic. It's so basic. It's so frustrating because it's so basic. The leadership in the team is just not there. It just doesn't exist. But you've got to think about the reorganisation that we saw from Liam Rosenior off the back of that sending off. Seriously, you know that I don't like Rosenior. You know, not personally, I don't dislike him. I don't like him as Chelsea manager. You know that. But were you, if you back him, were you impressed by the way that he reorganised the team? How can you be? How can you be? Did he get it right? I mean, you've got to have a look at what happened by the end of the game. By the end of the game, right, we had 5 defenders on the pitch. 4 of them are centre halves. And yet, that geezer Fleming, he got a free header, just glances it into the far corner. 1-1, bang. You got 4 centre halves on the pitch, 5 defenders. Where is the organisation? Where is the leadership? Where is the professionalism? And you're looking around, you think this home form is pitiful. The feeling amongst the fans is so flat. The ownership is a disgrace. The appointment of manager is so underwhelming. And then you see Cole Palmer, when he's substituted, absolutely livid when he was brought off, wasn't he? Absolutely livid. It's a big difference from that jokey interview a few weeks ago. It feels like there is a real problem with Cole Palmer. And look, people will be going, well, he should have scored that chance. And he should have done better with it. He should have done better with it. But the most frustrating thing of the lot, where's my phone? I'll show you the messages. Texting my mate who's at the game during the game. And I'm like, how's it going, mate? I'll show you. I'm like, how's it going? Sits in the West Stand lower tier. I went, how's it going, mate? I said, are they offering anything? He goes, not really, they're pony. They've been better the last 10 minutes. That was sent at 15:45. Palmer missed a great chance, 1-on-1, 15:45. I can hear a pin drop in here, though, 15:48. At 15:44, he quote tweets it. He quote tweets it as 16:52, exactly this. The quote tweet is, unless we score one of these chances, it feels like they're going to get something out of a corner or something obvious like that. Game over. I mean, we're a childish team. We're a childish squad. We're naive. How many players we had sent off this season? It's just all so basic. Bunch of juveniles, led by a juvenile. Led by an egotistical billionaire at the top. This is just who we are now. We're not a serious football club. When I've spoken about the contribution of somebody like Mikel Arteta at Arsenal, I will always argue that what he has done is take them from a joke into a serious football club. Whether they win the league or not, they might win it. And if you might win it, you're serious. Whether they win the Champions League or not, they might win it. And if you might win it, you're serious. You can see a world where they could win both. That means that you are a serious football club. We're not. We're not a serious football club. We're not. We're just not. You don't sell Madueke and buy Jamie Gittins and consider yourself a serious football club. You don't start a season with Levi Colwill injured and Chalobah and Tosin Adarabioyo as your best choice centre-half pairing if you're a serious football club. You don't rely on a player like Liam Delap if you're a serious football club. You don't sign Alejandro Garnacho and Buonanotte when you have a centre-half crisis if you're a serious football club. You don't sign the likes of David Washington and David Datro Fofana and Renato Vega and Leslie Ugachukwu and Benoit Badiashile and Axel Dizazi if you are a serious football club. It's just a travesty. But fantastic day at the office for Liverpool, fantastic day at the office for Manchester United. And you look at the league table now and you're just thinking our fixtures are about to get serious, really serious. And we are sitting on exactly the same points of Manchester United, who, by the way, have been in crisis this season. And it is now that our fixtures are really going to heat up. Arsenal, Aston Villa, Newcastle United, Everton, Man City, Man United. Yeah, good luck. Good luck. We'll be back in the Conference League. It's modern day Chelsea's level. Sickening. Sick of it. Sick of this ownership. If you back it, I can't even be bothered.